Hello, dear friends. This is Kardec Radio at 11 p.m. live with you, and we're studying the book Harvest of Light. What a joy! It is a joy. Ceifa de Luz in Portuguese, the original version, by the spirit author Emmanuel through Chico Xavier, the medium. A book that was psychographed in 1979 to 1972, published in 1979. Can you believe it? Unbelievable. It's a joy and it's an honor. And I'm opening here so I can see more. Welcome, friends. Join us in this beautiful study because tonight Emmanuel is showing to us, and forgive me, but I have to connect to the cable. Isn't it amazing? We're living on Earth and we have a cable that disconnected. Life on the Earth. What a joy. We love the certainty that we're on Earth, that we are living in an incarnate life, and we need to plug the computer to the outlet or we can't go on. That's amazing. So welcome, friends. Join us. What a joy. It's a joy because we're learning so much. We're learning so much that we're changing our lives. I hope we do. More and more and more and more. And you know, as people are coming in, I want to share with you. When we talk about mediums such as Chico Xavier was ahead of the game, of course, but his life wasn't easy. Have you read the book, if you speak Portuguese, have you read the book Testemunhos de Chico Xavier? You're going to see the hardships, how many days he cried, he felt the difficulties that he faced. It wasn't easy. And he had to protect himself. Sometimes we have this myth that mediums, when they're good mediums, they don't feel anything. It's on the contrary. They feel everything. And yet Chico Xavier was able to work on himself, evolve, progress, and be able to bring to us all these messages that are giving life to all of us. Right? I see wonderful friends Silvio Otero, John the Rose, Andrea Torres, Daisy, Galen, Sol, hello Sol, Kátia, I see Kátia, I see Sunshine, I see Eloise. Am I missing people? Chris, Anastasia, right? And I'm opening here to see if I can see more than I can see from the computer. It's funny. I can't see everything. Carol Correa is with us. Now I see Jaime Ramirez. And if I'm not seeing, just say hi. Andrea Torres. Right? I can see. It's important. We're feeling this live togetherness, everyone. And we're studying today something that we're dreaming about. Did you say money? No, that's not our dream. Our dream is about peace. Karina Alice, we're going to be talking about peace. Emmanuel in chapter 54, he talks about in the culture of peace. We dream of it. Today we can go in and out and feel safe. Right, Diana? Yes, I saw. Rihanna is here with us. Don't we dream about it? Of not being afraid, of feeling that we're connected to people, that we're respected, right? Where does it come from? You want to know more? I think we're ready now. I see here more friends coming in. I see our Patricia Guiri Cardoso is here. Thank you. Thank you, Diana. We dream of peace. Ready? Let us read from Emmanuel. Now he prepares us to talk about a mindset, a set of habits, a set of features in an attitude that will build peace. Chapter 54, In the Culture of Peace. And he says, Blessed are the peacemakers, because they will be called children of God. Said Jesus, as quoted in Matthew chapter 5, verse 9. In the culture of peace, let us always know to respect the opinions of others as we wish to maintain the respect of others towards ours. To put ourselves in the position of the fellows in difficulty, so that we may know to be useful to them. To silence improper or destructive references. To recognize that our pains and trials are no different from those who visit the heart of others. To dedicate ourselves to the fulfillment of our obligations. To turn every occasion into the best opportunity to cooperate for the benefit of others. To improve ourselves through work and study, wherever we are. To cultivate the pleasure of serving. To sow love everywhere among friends and enemies. To never doubt the victory of the good. Seeking the consideration of peacemakers, we will keep the certainty that true peace does not arise spontaneously, since it is and it will always be the fruit of each one's effort. Do you dream? Do you dream of peace? I do. The question, I know we do. The question is, how do we get there? And Emmanuel is going to bring to us the concept of justice and love. How do I know? He writes 10 items. It's a checklist. Did you know, as a parenthesis, did you know that Ben Franklin, when he was 20 years of age, he was sailing, and what a mind. He realized that he could improve himself, and he realized that he should improve himself for the betterment of his life. So he wrote a list of 13 virtues as a goal towards which he would refine himself. What a genius! No wonder he became one of the spirits that contributed with the Spiritist codification. If you go to the Spirits book by Allan Kardec, in the part that says Prolegomena, we're going to see the signature of several spirits who helped out the compilation of the Spiritist codification in the Spirits book, published in 1857, one of them, Ben Franklin. And for us here, this checklist that Emmanuel brings to us tonight, 10 items, he brings to us a summary that if we follow through, if we follow through, we're going to build a culture of peace. And he begins with the concept of justice, because he says, in the culture of peace, let us always know to respect the opinions of others as we wish to maintain the respect of others towards ours. That is the definition of justice according to Spiritism. Justice according to Spiritism. Hello, Rafael Medeiros. It's good. You're in our dear Colombia. Felicia is here with us from South Africa. What a joy. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Rafael. So if you go to the Spirit's book, and I have it here in the ebook format, and I say this on purpose to tell you, if you don't have the book, get the book, ebook. And the concept of justice is right in the chapter, in the third part of the Spirit's book, laws, the divine laws. The last law we're going to study, the law of justice, love, and charity. There is no peace without justice. There is no justice and peace without love. Peace depends on justice and love. So in the first question, which is right here, 875, how may justice be defined? The answer of the spirits: justice consists in respecting the rights of every person. Can I ask you a question? It's our question, an assessment question that Mentor Joseph is asking us. Let us assess. Am I just? How just am I today? Currently, scale 0 to 10, 0 being like not just at all, 10 just. I know we're not there. We're not 10. But where are you? Where am I? Give yourself a number. It's self-assessment. You don't need to share with us, but give yourself a number. And I will prove to ourselves, to myself, how just we are not yet. I'll give an example. A little kid gets into a tantrum, and then we look at the kid and we dismiss their feelings. We do not validate. We think, oh, this kid is just so spoiled. Poor injustice. We're not respecting that child's feelings or even thoughts. Do you think Jesus would dismiss and think, ah, spoiled? You see how unjust we still are? Simple measurement. Another one. Time of politics. People say, I'm gonna vote on X. And we start saying, but if you vote on X, that means that you are this, that, and the other. But where is the respect? The rights of the person, of every person, says the spirits. Justice consists in respecting the rights of every person. And then Kardec asks, but what determines those rights? They are determined by two things, human law and natural law. Because humans have established laws that are appropriate for their customs and character, such laws have established rights that can vary with progress. Though your current laws are not perfect, they do not consecrate the same rights as the laws of the medieval era, for instance. Even though those rights seem monstrous to you and are now obsolete, they seem just and natural at the time. Therefore, the rights established by humans do not always conform to justice. They only regulate certain social relations, whereas in private life, there are a huge number of actions that are the exclusive jurisdiction of the court of conscience. Wow. The court of conscience. And I'm going to read to you a message by Mentor Joseph in one of our mediumistic meetings. He talks about fidelity. He says, fidelity in thoughts. Be faithful to God in your ideals, in your daily life. Do not be laxed in your core principles. There lies the serpent of infidelity. Stay faithful to God, and fidelity will be second nature in all areas of your life. This message and another message about lies, allow me to read it to you. He talks about lies. Big lie, small lie. A lie is a lie. Lying big, it is a lie. Lying small, it is also a lie. Practice saying the truth always. Tell the truth kindly and gently. That is a high virtue to be practiced. As the spirits were saying, the Spirit's book by Allan Kardec, when we are by ourselves, we're the ones ruling, the court of our conscience rules. And usually we relax and we say, nobody's watching. And then I start doing stuff. And then I enter a cycle of guilt, remorse, and to cover it up, addictions to escape away. So then the spirits come to us and say, stay faithful, be just. So the number one to create peace is to respect people's rights. But are we respecting people's rights? Are we? The opinions of others? No, that's why the world is chaotic nowadays. Everybody has social media, and we don't have, because we're not seeing people face to face, we start attacking. But respect. People have their right not to understand, not to embrace, not to think alike. And we do too, but we don't need to bump heads. Number two, to put ourselves in the position of the fellows in difficulty and be useful to them. Usually people don't. I know people who look at homeless and say, but I don't believe they are really homeless. Have you followed them to their home? No. But they don't look like one. They look so healthy. Yeah. How many times were you sick and you didn't look like you were sick? How many times you had to go to work and you were not feeling well? People looked at you and you didn't look like you were not well. So now I look at others and they say, I am in difficulty and I don't believe in them. Put ourselves in their position. To beg for anything is humiliating. Oh, Vanessa, but there are people who like to beg. I don't think that they like to beg because that's never comfortable. I think their self-esteem is so low, they're so obsessed that they see no way out. They don't believe in their capacity anymore. They don't believe they are capable of holding a job. They don't believe I'm not justifying for them. But mental illnesses exist. And mental illness begins with a low self-esteem. So that's why we need to work on our self-love. Self-love. Loving ourselves like Jesus recommended. But how do I do this? By visualizing yourself as a being that came from God. By seeking the good in you, physically, emotionally, spiritually. You have so many qualities. Why not cherishing them? Why do we cherish the good thing that we see in a baby, in a puppy dog, in a kitten. But when it comes to us, we don't. Why not? Would you say to yourself in the mirror, you are adorable? No? You think it's hard? Think about this. Would you easily look at yourself in the mirror and say, you're so adorable? Would you? How do you feel? Vanessa, I don't feel like it, but that's an exercise. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am adorable. I am an adorable child of God. Practice it every day. Because if you do not cherish the good in you, you won't be able to cherish in others. Tell it to yourself, I am an adorable child of God. I am. Practice it now. Shall we? Put yourself, your hand in your chest. Feel as you speak how it's bringing new vibration to your body as well. I am an adorable child of God. I am an adorable child of God. I am an adorable child of God. Right, Margaret Carmel? Welcome. So, third, to silence improper or destructive references. That's a good one. But how can we silence it if we don't silence inside of us? To bring the good out, we need to have it in. To bring the good out, we need to have it in. So I cannot silence if it's in me. So we need to silence inside. So some phrases and sentences are coming in my mind that are not proper. And I shouldn't hold my mouth. I should say to myself, come on, let us change that thought. Let us change that thought. It's not that bad. Everybody's growing. Everybody's progressing. I believe in the good. He says it here, to never doubt the victory of the good. How are we going to achieve peace if I believe that the good is not going to be victorious? Do you believe in the victory of the good? Jaime Ramirez is saying, I always say that to myself. That's wonderful. Adorable. Great. Now, to recognize that our pains and trials are no different from those who visit the hearts of others. But usually we don't. Our life is harder. Our problem is bigger. The lives of everybody else are much easier than ours. Not true. Even the lives of people who have a whole lot of comfort, they have a hard time. Talk to psychotherapists and you will know the crying hearts behind the big mansions. The brands, the big names of the brands of fashion. Yes, there is an empty heart. In this last weekend, Divaldo Franco in Brazil had a beautiful encounter with many hundreds of people, and he addressed the emptiness of humanity. That feeling of emptiness, where does that come from? And he gives a list to address it. We're going to publish in the next issue of the Spiritist magazine. Next, Emmanuel says, to create peace, we need to dedicate ourselves to the fulfillment of our obligations. Usually, we bump heads because people don't feel like it's their duty, and we think it is. They think it's our duty, we think it's their duty, and then we clash. If I go there and fulfill my task and my obligation without dismissing it, I create peace. That's why Jesus said, goodwill, peace on earth and goodwill among humanity. Without goodwill, there is no peace. I needed to be of goodwill. Rafael Medeiros is saying, André Luiz said that of you, you still don't have a good heart, control your thoughts. If you can't control your thoughts, don't bring them out in the shape of words. Thank you, Rafael. Thank you. That's a practice, right? And he says to turn every occasion into the best opportunity to cooperate. Cooperate. What is to cooperate? To help, to assist. But you don't need to be the center. Many people do not help because, but nobody said anything. Nobody asked me, because I'm not going to be paid for it. But I remember how many times I did extra hours of work and someone asked me, but are you being paid extra? I don't care. But you're going to do more. I said, I don't care. I love doing this. At the end of the day, one day, you think the guardian angels are paid? No, no. But it's a different type. No. In the spiritual realm, it's about vibration. It's not about fulfillment of hours or tasks. It's about vibration. In the book, In the Realms of Mediumship, by André Luiz, through Chico Xavier, we get to know chapter 2. It talks about an apparatus named psychoscope that evaluates our morality, our education, our sentiments, our character. We're not evaluated by the higher spheres, by the number of hours we work, by the quantity of tasks that we fulfill, by the number of people we help. Many people dream of helping thousands, millions, but they are not capable of helping one. We will only be able to help millions when we learn to be able to help one. So they have this apparatus that evaluate our mental emission, mental radiation, which is going to evaluate our level of evolution, our types of feelings. It's going to evaluate our character, so we cannot fake it. But I want to do the good, and yet I keep my addictions. Not gonna. So he says here, to improve ourselves through work and study wherever we are. But I'm still. There's always a way. Now with the internet, in our phones, in our tablets, in our computers, everywhere. How can we not learn? How can we not work? What is to work? Is to be useful everywhere. So laziness deters us. Forgive me for saying this. No pointing fingers. But I remember when we were studying the book Drops of Light by the spirit author Casimiro Cunha through Chico Xavier. It's available in our YouTube. It's available in our Facebook page in the playlist Drops of Light. Poems by Casimiro Cunha. And he said, oftentimes the laziness is a terrible worm that deters our growth. So we need to make an effort. No wonder André Luiz repeats to us time and again, effort and repetition. We only evolve through effort and repetition. Effort, repetition, effort, repetition. Nothing can come easy if you're a teacher, an educator, a parent, a good friend. Encourage your children, encourage your teams, encourage your friends and yourself to make effort. Easy things do not lead us to the new. It's simply inertia, according to the law of physics. This book, if it's in this position, it's never gonna go anywhere. It's a law. Unless a force comes and pushes it to a direction. There is this inner force that we call will that pushes us to make it happen. So believe in you. There's even a child's book named Believe in Me. I believe in me, with affirmations for children. A wonderful book to have for your children. I believe in me. Each page is an affirmation. I believe in me. Do you believe in yourself? We need to believe in ourselves. He says the culture of peace depends on cultivating the pleasure of serving. Isn't it good? Right, Dona Verducci? The pleasure of serving, of sharing the good news with others, of listening to people, of smiling, of helping in any possible way, fixing them a meal, whatever it is. And to sow love everywhere among friends and enemies. Emmanuel really brings the Christ consciousness. To sow love, including where enemies are. It doesn't mean we're going to go there and hug them and force them to think alike. And if we say, I don't have enemies, probably we don't know ourselves. Because we need to know the quality of our thoughts. To create peace, we need to be just. To create peace, we need to be loving. We cannot create peace without those elements. And oftentimes, we are unjust. And oftentimes, we're not loving. Thus, we create the world we're living in. But he says, if we seek to be considered peacemakers, which is a beautiful consideration, because do you want to be called peacemaker? Ah, Vanessa, that's vanity. No, that's a virtue that should be in our to-do list, in our achievement list, to be a peacemaker. And to do so, he says, we need to cultivate it on our own. We will not become peacemakers without our own effort. Aren't you happy to know that it doesn't depend on others alone? That it depends on you and it depends on me. Don't you feel freer? Mentor Joseph likes us to be free to do and to comply with God's laws. Do you feel imprisoned in limitations, external or internal? Jesus comes and frees us up. And he says, you're free to love. You're free to be just. You're free to create peace. You're free to respect people's opinions. You have a choice. You're free to be empathetic, he says, to put yourselves in the position of others. You're free to silence comments that will not add anything, like sarcasm, ironies. We are free to dedicate ourselves to the fulfillment of our duties. We are free to serve. We're free to study, to be useful, and we're free to believe that the good wins always. How are you feeling? Hopeful? What is the name of that feeling that you have in your heart right now? You have a choice. I think that's the most important take from this message that Emmanuel is bringing to us today. You're free to choose. You're free. You're free to create your own peace, the culture of peace, in yourself, in your house, at your work, in your neighborhood, in your community, in your city, in your spirit center, everywhere. The culture of peace. Right? That's the message on chapter 54. Tomorrow, when we come back, Emmanuel is going to bring us. Can you believe it? We're 10 days away from wrapping up this 65 chapter book, Ceifa de Luz, Harvest of Light. Right? Jaime Ramirez saying released. Beautiful, beautiful, released. Exactly. And if it's not enough, Silvia Otero is saying we all have the power. Beautiful, Silvia. In the waves of Costa Rica, right? If it's not enough, Emmanuel so wisely is going to continue helping us refining ourselves. And he says, inner refinement. Ooh, tomorrow our lesson is on self-sculpture. Okay? Bring your chisel and your loving heart, and we're gonna sculpt ourselves, perfecting ourselves. He quotes Jesus, blessed is the servant to which the Lord used to do this way. And he says, it is important to remember that in the sustaining of ennobling habits, we need to manage them by ourselves. I think Emmanuel is empowering all the way, talking about empowerment. On October 6th, we'll give an online course on emotional empowerment through the School of Emotion, and the proceeds of this course will go 100% to the projects of Kardec Radio. You're invited to go to theschoolofemotion.org or to kardecradio.com to know more information and do your registration and help Kardec Radio to go to always another level, reaching out to people. Did you know that we are in more than 100 countries and the earth has 119 countries around the world? Kardec Radio has listeners in more than 50% of the world. And do you believe in the victory of the good or not? We do, right? Margaret Carmo, Silvio Otero, and friends. So I believe in the good, and I believe in the good in you. I believe in the good in me, and I believe in the good in everyone. And thus, I will create peace. Thank you, friends. And until tomorrow, God willing.